Happy Thanksgiving, guys. I hope you're having a good day no matter what you're doing. And remember, if you're eating a turkey, you're eating a little T-Rex. Birds are living dinosaurs. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun to like react to some Jurassic Park and Jurassic World videos. Thanks for following me. T-Rex is delicious, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I have some clips ready. I thought we could start with like Jurassic World Rebirth, confirmed dinosaurs, because that's the next Jurassic World movie coming up. What I've been up to away from Twitch. Yeah, back in Twitch world now. I just took a little break because my paleontology research was pretty heavy for like a year. And I'm still doing research, but now I'm like an independent researcher, so I have more time. I can manage my time on my own instead of like working for an institution. Hi, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I don't think it would be possible to domesticate Velociraptor. I mean, maybe you could like create a friendship with them. Like you can definitely create kind of a relationship of some sort with like grackles and crows. Birds are intelligent, but they're wild animals, and like any animal that's not domesticated can't really be trusted to that level where it's always going to respond to your call. Even if you trained it from when it was a baby, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's so many stories about that with like tigers and lions and chimpanzees. Yeah, you guys like the mukbang? It was fun to do. Definitely check it out if you guys haven't. I put up a Mazzado mukbang on YouTube. It's still not in sync. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how to make sure. Maybe that will work. I know. I have no idea how to fix the sync, okay? I'm sorry. I'll try and look it up real quick, but like if I can't find a way to do it, then I'll just suffer. I literally spent an hour before this like trying to fix the microphone. Oh, okay, it's like a whole driver thing. Where's screen? Oh, it's because I'm sharing my screen. Okay, I'm gonna try this one thing. Hold on. But yeah, don't worry. Know your bro. There's gonna be more dino videos. My plan is to have a dino video every week on YouTube. So it's not gonna be all ASMR. Okay. Now did it work? Now did it work? Wait, I think it should work. I think it should work now. I think I fixed it. Oh, that echoes back. Damn it. Okay, well. Then I'm gonna just now. Oh, okay. So now is it good? No, I'm through Streamlabs. Maybe now. Okay, so I think I just have to turn off the desktop audio when I'm talking. Okay, thanks guys, sorry. Anyway, so I have some Jurassic Park and Jurassic World clips to show that I can react to. Okay, yay. Okay, so the first one, like I said, Jurassic World Rebirth is coming out in 2025, I think in like May or June. And a trailer is not out yet, but there's been confirmed dinosaurs from it. So we're gonna go ahead and watch that. By the way, hi everyone on TikTok. I'm on Twitch right now reacting to Jurassic Park. But happy Thanksgiving. So come over to Twitch if you want to see that and interact with me more. Oh, I have my Jurassic Park mug too. Okay. No, he's not a paleontologist. That'd be funny though. Yes, I'm done with my PhD and I've done a postdoc already, which is like 2 years of additional research after a PhD. Yeah, finishing a PhD is rough. It took me 5 years because COVID happened in the middle of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start watching this. I have no idea. So I haven't, unless it's like from the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies, I haven't seen it before. So this is gonna be all new to me, guys. We will see.
Jurassic World Rebirth's plot has been revealed earlier last week, and along with it comes many questions, one of which is regarding the 3 colossal creatures.
I can't hear anything. Guys, on TikTok, come to Twitch. I'm reacting to Jurassic World and Jurassic Park stuff. Hi, Azim. Thanks for coming over. Okay, hopefully this will work. Okay, let me see if I can hear this. Can you guys hear it? I hope you can hear me and the video. Fuck. Oh wait, okay. Okay.
Video. We've been talking a
Now?
lot about the recent movie here on the channel lately, so if you happen to have missed any of the latest news and information, then please feel free to check out our last few videos here on the channel. Today, we're discussing the 3 most colossal creatures that will be appearing in the movie, as it seems as though they're very important for the future of mankind in this movie.
Yeah.
They're being rounded up for their DNA to make a miraculous drug to save mankind. But what are these 3 creatures? Well, let's try to find out in today's video. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you love the Jurassic franchise or want to learn more about this dinosaur movie media, as we aim for 250,000 subscribers by the end of the year.
Yeah, this is from, okay, for some reason his name's not showing, but this is from Swerve on YouTube, by the way.
Using code SWERVE for 20% off, it's time to find out what the 3 major dinosaurs are in Jurassic World Rebirth. So when we got the reveal of the plotline for Jurassic World Rebirth, it was a lot more than we initially anticipated, and it actually kind of saved a lot of people's views about this movie, and for me,
You guys on TikTok, I'm on Twitch reacting to Jurassic World and Jurassic Park clips, so come over to Twitch.
I'm still going to be cautiously on the fence. That's merely because it still sounds like a rebrand of everything, and it just sounds like they're undoing everything that Dominion was perfect at. So for me that really does upset me, so I am still on the fence here, but I can agree that the plotline is rather interesting. It does make me rather confused, but just to recap, here's what it says. 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. Those remaining exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates resembling one.
Okay, so here he's basically saying like, well, it's taken from what Jurassic World Rebirth is going to be. So the idea is that dinosaurs were alive during the Cretaceous period, and during most of the Cretaceous period, and a lot of the Mesozoic, but like most of the Jurassic World dinosaurs are more like Cretaceous, late Jurassic leading. The world was a much warmer, more lush place overall. So there was like a lot more plant cover, like jungles, like warmer temperatures. So the idea is that if dinosaurs were alive today, they wouldn't really be able to survive that well because we don't have that. We kind of just have that like along the equator. We don't really have it all over the world like it used to be. So that's kind of accurate in a way. Although there were some areas like during the late Cretaceous where the climate was colder, like Alaska, late Cretaceous, for example. But we don't know a lot about how dinosaurs dealt with the cold. Okay. And then, okay, they're claiming that dinosaurs are going to have the key to a drug that's going to bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. So this is kind of another way that they're trying to capitalize on the dinosaurs, I guess. Like in the first Jurassic Park, they're trying to capitalize on dinosaurs by bringing them back to life and having basically a Disney theme park type situation, make money off the theme park and people having dinosaurs as pets, whatever, and the genetic research. And then in Jurassic World, they're trying to capitalize off the theme park itself, but also using dinosaurs like velociraptors for military purposes, right? Which I don't think would really work in today's military, but whatever. So I guess this would kind of be like the next stage of capitalism for dinosaurs. If we were able to bring them back to life, like maybe they could have some miracle drug that would cure us. To me, this really like is a pure copy of like the Alien idea. So like if you've ever seen Alien, it's like Alien, you know, the aliens, the xenomorphs were like these perfect creatures that had the antidote to humans being mortal. And so the company in Alien was always kind of trying to study aliens to get some drug from them for humans to live forever, but the reality is like it would never work for whatever reason. Like it would kind of work for a short period of time, but then the alien would kind of take over the human body or the mouse body, whatever, and like explode out of it. And dinosaurs like aren't closely related to us or mammals at all. They split off from reptiles, which like I'll have actually a video on that out in a couple weeks of like that whole evolutionary tree. Oh, thanks for following me, Pale-Blooded Sack. So yeah, like I don't think dinosaurs could hold the key to a drug. Like the genetic research itself could definitely hold insights into like genes and evolution and genetics that could help us develop drugs for ourselves, but like the actual dinosaur bodies are not going to be that useful for us as a drug. I mean, because otherwise you're just kind of going full science fiction like Alien is. Yeah, I like Jurassic World. I love Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is what got me into being a paleontologist. I think I like Jurassic Park a lot more because like actual scientists are some of the characters, and like it explores the themes of science and like the perils of science a lot better, I think, than Jurassic World. But at the same time, like Jurassic World is interesting because it's kind of the idea of like, what if Jurassic Park didn't fail, right? Like, what if they were able to open the park and actually capitalize on these dinosaurs? What would happen? So I like seeing Jurassic World, like, and I'm glad that the series is continuing, and like, it is cool to keep seeing dinosaurs in the media. I think that's really important. Yeah, you're talking about the Russian dogs in the Second World War. The problem with like modern warfare is like, I mean, we're using drones and all of these other things. Like, I just don't see how trained velociraptors are going to be better than like a robot, you know? Thanks for following me. Seconds of Snow. That's cute. Yeah, and if you really like Jurassic Park, the book is also really good. The book actually has like, the dinosaur science is a little bit more accurate. But of course I love Jurassic Park because I mean, seeing it is totally different. Okay. I will keep watching this dude's video now.
One of which they once thrived in. The 3 most colossal creatures within the tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. Scarlett Johansson plays skilled covert operations expert Zora Bennett, contracted to lead a skilled team on a top secret mission to secure genetic material from the world's 3 most massive dinosaurs. When Zora's operation intersects with a civilian family whose boating expedition was capsized by marauding aquatic dinosaurs, they all find themselves stranded on an island where they then come face to face with sinister and shocking discovery that's been hidden.
Like, okay, again, like, you guys probably don't need me to tell you this, but it's like, you're telling me the miracle drug for humans is going to be in the 3 biggest dinosaurs just because they're the biggest? Like, that makes actually no sense. Like, give me a real biological reason.
From the world for decades. So within this synopsis, this paragraph, they mention the 3 dinosaurs not once, but twice, and it is very interesting. The first time around, they do confirm the 3 most colossal creatures, but then they go ahead and say the world's 3 most massive dinosaurs. So are they creatures or are they dinosaurs? Well, considering that later in the paragraph they did say that marauding aquatic dinosaurs managed to shipwreck this family, I think it's safe to say that when they say dinosaurs, they don't just mean dinosaurs, they mean flying reptiles and also aquatic reptiles as well, because as we know, there's no such thing as aquatic dinosaurs or flying dinosaurs, they're only reptiles.
Okay. So he's kind of right. It's like, obviously, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know, like mosasaurs and ichthyosaurs, those are marine reptiles. Those are not dinosaurs. So they're more closely related to snakes and lizards than they are to like T-Rex or Ankylosaurus. But there are aquatic dinosaurs, like semi-aquatic to aquatic dinosaurs, in the sense that we have Spinosaurus, and we don't really know how aquatic it was. Like, we know it was definitely semi-aquatic, but it could be a little more full aquatic. But I guess he's kind of trying to say like there's no dinosaurs like swimming out there in the ocean, which is true as far as we know. Thanks for following me, you guys, by the way. And even T-Rex, like, I know there was that Apple TV documentary where T-Rex was like swimming with its babies, but like there is no evidence for that. And if anything, there's a couple studies that tested like whether Allosaurus and T-Rex could swim, and I mean at the most it would be in shallow water where they're basically like able to like walk on the sand in the shallow water. So we're not talking real aquatic here. And with Spinosaurus, like the latest study is showing that it wasn't the best swimmer. Like it definitely would swim, but it probably would swim in more shallow water, kind of like get fish at the surface of the water or like standing on the side of the river wherever it's fishing and like ambushing prey that way. And we know Baryonyx was the same way. Except Baryonyx would use probably like its claws kind of like a fishing harpoon to like spear fish. So yeah. Hopefully that clears that up for you guys.
So taking this information here, we can only assume that when they say creatures, they mean land, sea and air. And when they do say dinosaurs, they also mean land, sea and air. So now it's just time to try and work out what these creatures are. Each creature does in fact represent a different area in the world, being terrestrial, underwater or in the sky. So if we were to use this to the best of our knowledge, let's try and track down exactly what these most massive creatures are in the Jurassic universe.
Yeah, so Spinosaurus, it would be kind of similar to a croc, except that it wouldn't probably be sitting in the water all day. Like a croc is definitely more fully on the full aquatic side, in my opinion, versus Spinosaurus. Based on what we know now, but again, like we don't have a lot of material of Spinosaurus, and like a lot of you guys probably know, like the first ever Spinosaurus that was found, that was one of the most complete ones, was destroyed in World War II when the British bombed a German museum. So thanks for following me, Optimal Mario. It's funny. Happy Thanksgiving. And yes, I also wanted to say Jurassic Park is based off of a book by Michael Crichton. So the movie was not first. The book came first, and then they adapted it to a movie. So definitely like go check out the books if you love Jurassic Park.
Two of them we already know pretty much. When it comes to the seas, it's very obvious that it is Mosasaurus. Now some people are going to say, oh, Mosasaurus, it wasn't the largest swimming aquatic reptile ever discovered. That's true. However, in this universe, in the Jurassic universe, the Mosasaurus currently is. The one that InGen created for Jurassic World, escaped at the start of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, caused the campers to be shipwrecked on Manticore Island in Camp Cretaceous, and then suddenly appeared in Jurassic World Dominion. It's safe to say that people have really said it's been underutilized. And to quote Ben from Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, we are not getting our full use of the Mosasaurus. So considering that we do in fact know that these are the largest creatures of their kind, Mosasaurus is quite obviously the one that is going to be for the sea. Now nevertheless, of course, people want to see Plesiosaurus, Elasmosaurus, Ichthyosaurus, Tylosaurus, other aquatic reptiles that we actually got in Jurassic World Evolution 2. With Plesiosaurus and Elasmosaurus being deleted from Jurassic World Dominion, it's safe to say that we will probably get a few more marine reptiles here in Jurassic World Rebirth. And yes, there are current rumours going about, but take those with a pinch of salt. Now we move on to the sky. It's very obvious.
Okay, so again, none of those that he showed are dinosaurs. So Plesiosaurus and Mosasaurus are marine reptiles, not dinosaurs. Closely related to snakes and lizards. I also don't really understand the full use of Mosasaurus thing. I think we got plenty of Mosasaurus in Jurassic World, but whatever. I think there's plenty of other cool, even marine reptiles you could show, like Kenchosaurus. Temperature, like, yeah, that is something we're still trying to figure out, because we're not really sure like why Mosasaurus and Plesiosaurus went extinct, and other things like Ichthyosaurus went extinct at the end of the KPG boundary when the asteroid hit. I mean, they likely would have preferred warmer temperatures, but the main theory that most paleontologists agree on is that when the asteroid hit, that caused ocean acidification to increase. So like the acid level of the ocean was higher once the asteroid hit the Earth. But it's really still up for debate. It's really hard to reconstruct climate from that old of an age because there's just not that many proxies that we have. Like by proxies, I mean there's not that many ways we can tell that we can measure something, right, from the past. One of the main things we have is pollen, but that kind of just tells us what trees were present and where they were present, which is helpful because we know that it's likely that there was less tree cover overall, like all over the world once the asteroid hit, which makes sense, right? And we can tell based on the types of trees present, like maybe what the temperature would have been like. But with the ocean, it's like we just don't have a lot of proxies right now. So that's something that paleontologists are like really trying to figure out. No, there's no creatures that live in the sea that are considered a dinosaur. Okay. I will go back now. You guys on TikTok, come to Twitch, because I'm reacting to Jurassic Park and Jurassic World.
Quetzalcoatlus. Quetzalcoatlus, well, it was in Jurassic World Dominion. Do I need to say any more? Every single scene that the Quetz appeared in was phenomenal. Whether that would be landing on top of the One World Trade Center.
Okay, again, this is a flying reptile. Like any pterosaur, that's not a dinosaur. It's related, it's a reptile. Flying reptile. So same thing as like Mosasaurus and Plesiosaurus, Ichthyosaurus, all that. Not a dinosaur. Exactly. Pterosaurs ain't dinosaurs, bitch.
In New York, destroying the aircraft, or even when it flew off right at the end of Jurassic World Dominion, which is very interesting because they are seen flying very freely across the world. So to me, it's very obvious that the skies, it's going to be Quetzalcoatlus. But once again, there are other creatures rumored, such as Sciarodactylus and Marodactylus as well, but take those with a pinch of salt since we do know that Universal seem to be putting fake leaks out there. So we have the seas in the Mosasaurus, we have the skies in the Quetzalcoatlus. Now this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. What dinosaur is for the land? Well, we kind of have 6 options to pick from here.
Now the pterosaur reconstruction in Jurassic World actually is pretty good. The size and everything, how it looks, it's actually pretty accurate. So that is one thing that was, you know, good job on them. No, pterosaurs are not closer to any modern animal. So thank you for subscribing, Pale Bloody Sack. Ada ada. But no, so they're basically an evolutionary dead end. So there's nothing alive today that's related to pterosaurs. Whereas like mosasaurs are kind of, and plesiosaurs and stuff are more related to living snakes and lizards, but like pterosaurs are really a dead end. It's sadly. I mean, they're really cool. I wish they weren't, but.
Three of them being carnivores, 3 of them being herbivores. Well, if we were to focus on just the carnivores for now, we have 3 candidates. Minus the Indominus Rex, these are the 3 largest carnivores that have existed in the Jurassic universe. We have the Spinosaurus, we have Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the Giganotosaurus. Now here's the confusing part. We know that the Spinosaurus is in fact the largest carnivore to walk planet Earth in the Jurassic universe. And that's
true.
Resizing in Camp Cretaceous, which take.
I mean, actually, that is true in real life. Spinosaurus was the biggest carnivore out of the dinosaurs to exist.
Takes place in 2016. Now, Alan Grant in Jurassic World Dominion confirmed that the Giganotosaurus is the largest carnivore to walk planet Earth at the same time. Now don't get me wrong, he came face to face with the Spinosaurus in 2001, but he didn't come face to face with that same Spinosaurus in 2016, which has grown since 2001. So he's probably assuming that the Giganotosaurus is bigger than the 2001 Spinosaurus and doesn't know about the new size of the Spinosaurus in 2016. So for sure we know it's between those two. I mean, Tyrannosaurus Rex is the icon of the franchise, we all know Tyrannosaurus Rex, so of course we need to throw it in there for the mix, just for the sake of it being severely iconic. But between those three, I believe it's between the Spinosaurus and the Giganotosaurus, with Spinosaurus rumoured to appear for so long and the fanbase desperately wanting this dinosaur to appear in live action for so long as well. I think my money is probably going to be on Spinosaurus, because Giganotosaurus, it had hate from the paleo community, it had hate from the Jurassic community, because it just didn't really do anything. But that could be the reason why it could also appear, because it needs a bit of a redemption arc in Jurassic World Rebirth. But for me, I think between these three it's probably Spinosaurus. But if we were discussing the most massive dinosaurs of all time, we have to feature the sauropods and the titanosaurs. We have to neglect the Spinosaurus Rex and Giga, because right now we have Argentinosaurus, Patagotitan, and Titanosaurus, which I believe are the three largest creatures to ever walk planet Earth.
Yeah, so like a couple things. So, I mean, first of all, Giganotosaurus was not that much bigger than T-Rex. Like, I understand the hype, because when I first learned about, oh, Giganotosaurus bigger than T-Rex, yeah, I was really excited, but it's only literally a few feet bigger. It's not like Godzilla versus T-Rex, right? So that's kind of a misconception that a lot of people have. I also just didn't like the treatment of Jurassic World to Giganotosaurus, because they only included a juvenile Giganotosaurus in the last movie, and like it was smaller than T-Rex, so it was kind of like, to me, like, what's the point, right? Like, to me, the point of including Giganotosaurus is to show like this thing is so much fucking bigger than T-Rex, like, so I don't. And it was very CGI looking, which I just prefer. I prefer the original way Jurassic Park did dinosaurs, like with the animatronics and models combined with computer editing. But yeah, like he says in this video, the biggest dinosaurs were titanosaurs, which are sauropods, like he's talking about. But that even makes this whole like super drug for humans thing like so much less plausible, because they're not like T-Rex and theropods. Like, if you're gonna pick a dinosaur to get a super drug from, which I don't think you should, but oh, thank you guys, by the way, for following me. If you are gonna pick a dinosaur to get a super drug from, it would be the theropods, because they're still alive today as birds. So they're really the only relevant thing that is still alive and like related to us in some way. Whereas the sauropod dinosaurs, like, you wouldn't, they're just so distantly related to us evolutionarily. Like, if we really wanted a super drug that existed during the Mesozoic period, we should go back in time and like look at early synapsids, like the earliest mammals, like Dimetrodon or stuff, things like that. Like, it just is like such a huge reach scientifically. Like, it doesn't make sense scientifically to get a super drug from dinosaurs. Like, but especially if you're going to get it from something that's like not alive today. Because at least with theropods, it's like, you know, we can do genetic studies on chickens and other types of birds and actually like create medicine from it, versus, you know, getting some fragmented genome from a dinosaur, which we can't even do anyway. But yeah. I wish. I mean, it'd be cool to bring back the dinosaurs. Maybe one day. Brachiosaurus with the common cold. That, yeah. The Jurassic Park one. The little sneeze. Ultrasaurus. Yes, I remember that. Titanosaurus was real. I actually found one in South America in Chile. I carried the vertebrae on my back, and then the Chilean military had to helicopter the rest out. So yeah, they are real. There's several different species of them, but basically titanosaurs are like the biggest animals to ever exist, other than blue whales, but some of them were even bigger than blue whales. Yeah, in the original Jurassic Park, they said that they kind of filled in the dinosaur DNA with frog and amphibian DNA, but that was kind of like 90s research, and like during that time, people were still debating whether dinosaurs were related to living birds. Like there are actually paleontologists that have written open letters saying that they don't believe that dinosaurs were related to birds at that time. Whereas now, like pretty much all of us in the field working now, like believe that dinosaurs are birds. But, you know, in the 90s, it was still up for debate, like all of these things of whether dinosaurs were related to birds, whether some of them were warm-blooded, whether they were intelligent. Like this was all up for debate. So yeah, I think they took that from like the science at the time. But in reality, if you were going to substitute a genome for a dinosaur genome, it should be a bird genome. But even then, I mean, you can't, so far with the technology we have, you can't get a dinosaur genome. The best we can do is like reverse engineer a chicken genome to make chickens have longer tails and longer snouts and make them have teeth. But you're still not really making a dinosaur. You're kind of just like playing with their genes and seeing what happens, making them mutants. But yeah. Could we make a chicken-sized T-Rex? Maybe one day. Yeah, that project that's kind of the farthest that they've gotten in about like a decade. So it's like I kind of want them to bring dinosaurs back, but I kind of don't. I kind of don't want a T-Rex chasing me, but like I do want a pet velociraptor.
Between these three, it's very obvious which one it is going to be. Patagotitan, I believe, is actually the largest, which is the largest subscription that you can subscribe to on my Patreon, and I believe also on my YouTube members as well, if any of you are feeling generous. But yes,
sorry, I feel like I'm pausing a lot, but there's like a lot of commentary I have. Okay, so like Patagotitan, it is probably one of the largest, but the thing with a lot of these titanosaurs is we don't have a whole skeleton. When you go to a museum and you see a whole ass skeleton of this shit, like usually it's based off mathematical calculations based on a leg bone or some vertebrae, like the ones I found, right? So usually they're calculating all of it, not for other dinosaurs necessarily. Like we found whole T-Rex skeletons, we found whole Parasaurolophus skeletons, we found whole Apatosaurus skeletons, but whole Titanosaur skeletons have not been found. Like we've only found legs of them or vertebrae of them, just parts of them. And so when you see like the big ass cast of that in a museum, I mean, a lot of that is recreated to show you what it would be like, because it's kind of hard to imagine based on one bone. But a lot of them are based on one leg bone. So the problem with that is we don't really know which species is the biggest, because we literally don't know. Like we can guess based on modeling and everything, but we can't literally know and like measure it until we find the entire skeletons of these things, which has not been done yet.
Patagotitan is massive. Then we have Argentinosaurus, which again is more well known and also massive. But Titanosaurus, when it comes to the general audience, I feel is actually a lot more well known. I spoke to my friends, my family, which out of these three do you know the most? And they all said Titanosaurus. So whilst this isn't answering for everyone across the globe, I did have a hunch that Titanosaurus was going to be the main one out of these three. So for me, out of these 6, I think it is most likely Titanosaurus, which means the 3 creatures we have are Mosasaurus, Quetzalcoatlus, and Titanosaurus as the 3 dinosaurs that Zora and the rest of her crew are trying to acquire DNA from on the equatorial line. If there are any other opinions, then feel free to let me know in the comments. So there we have it. A few new names could be making their debut in the Jurassic franchise very soon, especially with sauropods and titanosaurs. Dominion introduced Dreadnoughtus as the latest sauropod in the franchise, and now I believe that Rebirth may be introducing the Titanosaurus as a brand new one as well. Either way, the story is shaping up to be a different but pretty interesting story.
Okay, so what he just said is not really correct. So Dreadnoughtus is a titanosaur. Dreadnoughtus is like, we're not sure if Dreadnoughtus or Patagotitan would be the biggest, but they are both in the group that we call titanosaurs, which includes like all of the biggest dinosaurs, you know, all the biggest sauropods. So Dreadnoughtus is not like separate from that. And then with sauropods, so as far as we know, they only had scales. We haven't found feathers on them, but they do have a bird-like feature, which is that they do have air sacs. And that's something that we only see in like living birds and theropod dinosaurs, of course. So it's interesting. There are definitely a lot of bird-like features in like non-theropod dinosaurs, like sauropods, and even things like Ankylosaurus and hadrosaurs, like, which are basically the duckbill dinosaurs. So kind of runs throughout.
At the same time, we're just going to have to wait to see what will be coming to Jurassic World Rebirth on July 2nd, 2025. If you enjoyed today's video, then please feel free to like the video, comment your thoughts, and why not subscribe if you're new around here as well, as we are still aiming for 250,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there.
Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder.
Okay, I think that's the end of his video. We'll move on to the next clip. And you guys on TikTok, come over to Twitch. I'm reacting to Jurassic Park and Jurassic World clips. So those were the 3 dinosaurs for Jurassic Park Rebirth, 2 of which were not dinosaurs because they were marine reptiles and flying reptiles. The sauropod angle is interesting. I think it'd be interesting to see a Jurassic Park that's more focused on sauropods than the carnivores. Like, I guess we'll have to see. Yeah. Here's another thing about Jurassic Park Rebirth. And then after this, I have a bunch of like the actual movie clips to react to too, so. Do I have a focus? Yeah, so the focus of my research is to figure out what actually happened to the dinosaurs, because we know a lot about how, like, about classic dinosaurs like Velociraptor and T-Rex, and we know a lot about living birds, which are living dinosaurs, but we don't really know, like, how Velociraptor evolved into living birds, for example. So we know there was like really rapid evolution around the KPG boundaries 66 million years ago, and then that kind of like exploded into 10,000 species of living birds. But we really don't have like many fossils, and the ones we do have are not, we don't really understand them very well. They haven't really been studied. So that's what I'm focusing on, is like basically anything from like Velociraptor to all living birds is what I'm super interested in. So yeah. Next clip. Yeah, I'm on Twitch, guys on TikTok.
You're talking Jurassic World Rebirth. and we are discussing some of the big implications that this film has on the Jurassic franchise and some things that I think a lot of people don't understand about just how big this film will be for the franchise. Now, a lot of that has to do with the general audiences and the fact that general audiences don't have too many tidbits of information about this movie other than that initial teaser as well as some screenshots, because it's really more of the hardcore fan bases of various franchises that get into things like leaks and rumors, and even then a lot of the people in my comments do not believe that a lot of these Jurassic leaks are real. So there's a lot of things going on right now where there's still some potential mystery surrounding Jurassic World Rebirth, but in this video we are just...
Thanks for following me, guys. Also, that little like da-na-na, da-na-na with the piano just like gets me emotional, man.
Discussing why this is going to be the most impactful film since at least the third Jurassic Park movie, but I would even go as far back as the first movie to say that this one is going to fulfill a lot of stuff that first movie seeded philosophically with a lot of the things that Dr. Ian Malcolm spoke on, with man not really fully being aware of the implications of the rabbit hole that they are going down with the genetic experiments going on with the dinosaurs. So we're getting into it all in this video. If you guys enjoy my Jurassic content, consider subscribe.
Yeah, that I honestly do hope they do that. So the quote he was showing, if you haven't seen the original Jurassic Park, so Ian Malcolm is a mathematician that's invited to Jurassic Park along with the paleontologist Dr. Grant and Ellie to she's also a doctor, I guess, so Dr. Sattler. You know, they're asked to talk about whether Jurassic Park is a viable thing, like scientifically, and Malcolm says, you know, your scientists were so preoccupied with whether they could that they didn't stop to think if they should. And that's a really important thing to keep in mind for science, I think, because it's like these things are really exciting when you're at the brink of discovery. Like, I know what that's like, but you do have to think about what the implications are for your discovery, because everything that you discover or that you make possible can then be used by other scientists for good or for bad, right? And usually this doesn't really matter in paleontology. Like, if I describe a new species of an extinct dinosaur or an extinct bird, like, no one's going to use that to like create a bioweapon. But if Jurassic Park or Jurassic World was real, you know, that could become a reality. Like, people could be able to modify genes in a way that like could become detrimental to humans as a whole and like cause our own mass extinction. So that is something important to keep in mind, like especially as genetics as a field keeps evolving. I mean, we already have some of that for humans, not really for dinosaurs, but like we have things like CRISPR that can genetically modify human embryos, and like there are good uses for it. Like, it's not that it's all bad. It's just that, like, I think that as scientists, we, like, at least for me as a scientist, the reason I wanted to be a scientist was like, yes, I want to make discoveries, and yes, that's really exciting, but I also wanted to change the world for the better and like be able to save the world and help humanity and save humanity if needed, right? And if that's our goal as scientists, which I think it should be, we don't have to worry. But the problem is that's not how all scientists operate. And even if all scientists did operate that way, you know, that's not how companies operate necessarily. You know, they're driven more by profit. So, and companies are also connected to science because they're the ones funding our science, especially when you're getting into human medicine. So it's like, these are real issues in science and even in paleontology that we do constantly need to think about. Like, what are the repercussions of our actions? What are the repercussions of our findings and how we're presenting our scientific findings? So yeah, I do hope that they harp on that a little. And that was really the lesson of the original Jurassic Parks, you know? And then Jurassic Park Dominion, or Jurassic World Dominion and the movies after, it was like, that was a little bit more fun. But one of the reasons I love Jurassic Park is like, not just because of the wonder and amazement of seeing dinosaurs, but also like understanding the full power and responsibility of science. I think that is an important message to think about. Yes, I read both of the novels. Playing the Isle. I've never played that. Planet of the Apes movement, yeah. Yeah, I mean, life finds a way. Yeah, I do love the memes. I do love the memes of Malcolm, like, with his shirt off after the dinosaurs attacked him or whatever. I don't think he gets dysentery, but he gets attacked by dinosaurs.
Into it all in this video. If you guys enjoy my Jurassic content, consider subscribing, and let's get into it.
The atomic failed.
So yeah, in this next Jurassic movie, we have heard a lot of various leaks and rumors, but we also have...
Oh yeah, that reminds me, this video is from Atomic Fan on YouTube, by the way. I just want to make sure I'm giving credit to everyone.
Have some official information as well. We have the reveal of the logo. We have various set photos showing Scarlett Johansson. We have a lot of different set videos showing some action set pieces, but we all...
Okay, no, he is not the one that ends up under the porta potty. That's the corrupt lawyer. Okay, that's working for Hammond. So Malcolm survives the entire thing. He comes back later in Jurassic World. He's like the cool mathematician dude.
Also have a lot of leaks and rumors that have come out for this movie that are giving a lot of hints as to what is to come with this film, and seeming like this movie is going to touch on some of the stuff from the canceled Jurassic Park 4 film and some of the stuff that was kind of seeded in Jurassic Park 3, where you see some of the experiments done on these dinosaurs. That would be, of course, the scene where the raptor is peering through the glass, where at first it appears to be dead, and then of course it breaks out into like kind of a jump scare and this big action sequence. One of the best scenes, I think, visually in Jurassic Park 3, and really encapsulated that kind of creepy vibe of the dinosaurs. Jurassic Park 3, I think, probably had the best vibe of the dinosaurs that in the very first Jurassic Park movie. I think The Lost World did a good job as well. Once you get into the Jurassic World films, that's when the dinosaurs start to get a little silly, a little bit too, I guess the best word I could say would be personalized. But yeah, with Jurassic World Rebirth, not only are we getting back to the darker tone of the dinosaurs, but there also seems to be a lot of experimenting going on with these dinosaurs. We have confirmations that we're going to be seeing some kind of black market dinosaurs, not from Biosyn or InGen. And then we have also heard that there is going to be evolved dinosaurs as well as potential hybrid dinosaurs. And then we've heard things like the dinosaurs are going to resemble some of the more monstrous looks of the Peter Jackson King Kong films, so doing away with a lot of the feathers as well. Now, on top of that, there seems to be a lot of murder going on in this film too, with the initial plot leak of this film stating that most of the people in this movie were actually going to die, a la the Suicide Squad 2021. And there, of course, is set to be a massive big twist in this movie as well that you find out near the end of the movie. And a lot of people think that this is going to be the reveal of some kind of evolved dinosaur experiments, because we do have rumors that there is going to be hyper intelligent hybrids, or I guess evolved dinosaurs in this movie, even smarter than raptors. So I'm starting to piece together what I think this movie is going to be, and I think a lot of that has to do with the genetic...
Okay, I really hope there's not a two-headed dinosaur in this movie. But I like the idea of returning to, like he said, you know, the darker aspect of the dinosaurs, and treating them like what they are and were, which is wild animals that were extremely intelligent. I agree with him that especially the earlier Jurassic Worlds like treated dinosaurs as though they could be domesticated, especially like things like Velociraptor. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, look at like circuses that try to tame tiger, or like Tiger King. Like, you're not taming, those are mammals. Those are closely related to us compared to Velociraptor and T-Rex, and you're saying that you could domesticate something like that, and we can't even domesticate tigers. Like, that's not happening.
Experiments, the black market dinosaurs, and of course the big reveal of these hybrid dinosaur experiments. Whether they're going to be human dinosaur hybrids, I don't know. I would think they're not going that far yet, but they could be dinosaurs that are like mixed breed or just hyper intelligent in general, even beyond the lengths of like a raptor or the Indominus Rex. So this movie is really set to shake up the Jurassic franchise in such a big way. I think a lot of people are underestimating this film, and from everything that I've heard about the film, I actually have a really good feeling so far with them actually taking a lot of creative liberties, and I think taking this franchise in a direction that was already seeded in the first Jurassic Park movie with a lot of the lines that Dr. Ian Malcolm said. Now, topping that all off with the return of the Spinosaurus, which we also know is happening in this movie. We've heard it from multiple sources. We know it's going to be a paleo-accurate design, and we've even seen screenshots of the Spinosaurus layer on set for this film. We know there's a lot of good stuff coming for this movie, but the question is, will the execution be able to be pulled off properly? Will this movie actually have a well-written story that's kind of paced together well, or will it flow much like a lot of modern Hollywood movies where it's either just some action blockbuster movie or just a movie with shallow writing and shallow characters in general? There's a big possibility for that, guys, but I think in general the concepts that this movie is touching on, I think, are very, very good for the franchise, but the concepts that they're touching on with this next movie, I think, are very in line with what has been seeded before and seem like a natural progression for the Jurassic franchise in general. I don't think it's going to go quite as far as human dinosaur hybrids. I think if something like that were to happen, it would be a couple movies down the line, but I do think they are seeding the idea for something crazy like that. I don't think they're going to go as balls to the wall as that canceled Jurassic Park 4 movie was going to go, but nonetheless, guys, comment down below, let me know what you think about all this stuff, and if you're interested in the...
Anyway, I think that's the end of his video. So yeah, to you guys in the comments, hippos are literally the most dangerous animals in the world alive right now. Like, you cannot domesticate a hippo or a croc. Okay? Yeah, human hybrid dinos, I'm really not a fan. I really didn't like that in the last movie. Like, I mean, everything I've been saying is kind of like spoiler alert, but we're not closely related to them at all. It makes no sense. But yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen like the Animal Planet show, Fatal Attraction, you know, I recommend that. If you think you can domesticate a wild animal, please watch that show. The thing is, like, you're never in control with a wild animal. Like, you can think you're in control, and you can have tricks that like seem to work. Like, look at Grizzly Man, look at Fatal Attraction, look at whatever, Tiger King, like. But there is always a point where they will turn on you. It's just their instinct. And it's not anything like personal. You know, it's not that they don't maybe have some sort of relationship with you. Like, we just can't know. We just can't project human emotions onto these animals. Like, we just don't know how their mind works. And I mean, even Tiger King, like, he never went in the pen unless he absolutely had to, because he knew those cats, like, as soon as he turned his back, would be on him. Like, he would force other people to go in there for him, and there were accidents all the time. Like, it's not... And even when people have tried to... I'm forgetting the name right now, but, damn it. Anyway, there's been a couple circuses where, like, they've raised tigers from birth and printed them on them and everything. And, like, same with chimpanzees, same with, like, monitor lizards, bears, whatever animal you want to name, pythons, like, it doesn't matter. You could spend your entire life with these animals and, like, they could still turn on you because they're wild. They're not domesticated. They don't have... It's like there's not a way for you to communicate with them fully, and, like, at the end of the day, like, you're an animal and you just want to survive. And, like, domesticated animals have been bred to depend on us for survival, and that's just, like, the cold truth. Dogs are domesticated. So dogs and cats, I mean, cats are a weird example because they're technically genetically wild, but they, like, over time they've kind of genetically become a little domesticated because, like, certain wild cats in Africa, like, came to depend on us, and so that's where kind of the household cat came from. Dogs have been domesticated for, like, a long time, like thousands of years, maybe longer. And, but it takes, like, a long time. I mean, it takes evolution, and evolution doesn't happen over the scale of years or decades. Like, it happens over millions of years or, like, thousands of years at a minimum. So there had to be thousands of years of, like, these wild dogs depending on us for survival and kind of having a relationship where we traded, like, oh, you give me protection, I give you food. And it had to be just the right kind of lottery of circumstances for them to be able to evolve and become domesticated. Like, it's not, you can't do it with, like, one individual. Like, it takes millions of years. Yeah, I know. I think you're talking about grizzly, man. That's... And it's sad because it's not... Because it's, like... It's sad for the animals because then they're often, like, killed for killing people when it wasn't their fault because they're habituated to people and they can't literally evolve to, like, not kill you because they're a wild animal. On the other hand, it's also sad, like, I don't hate on grizzly, man. I don't hate on people who keep exotic animals necessarily. Like, I understand the impulse. I understand that they probably think, like, oh, this animal loves me. You know, they're empathizing with this animal. They're projecting their emotions on this animal. But that's just not reality, like, unfortunately. And it's just, it is sad because it's like, you know, they really need to, like, get their emotional fulfillment from somewhere else, you know? Yeah, Harambe, same, exactly. Okay, I forgot I was reacting to Jurassic Park. Anyway, okay, here's my first actual Jurassic Park movie clip that I'm gonna react to. My fave, the OG.
Alan, this species of Variformin's been extinct since the Cretaceous period. I mean, this thing isn't on this thing. What?
Just, like, every time I fucking love this scene so much. Like, this scene is really, like, what got me to be a paleontologist, honestly. Like, it just, I think it really captures, like, the wonder that one feels when, well, at least that I feel when I look up at a dinosaur skeleton, and it's like, whoa, man, like I saw dinosaur skeletons in a museum when I was little, and I was like, wow, like, I was really into them. And then I saw this movie, and it was like, and this scene, and it was like, I don't know, like, how to explain it, but it was just like, this is like everything that I want to know about. Like, I also love how he just kind of like takes her head and like turns it. That's very accurate to like paleontology mentorship. Like, pay attention, you fucker. I love them as characters too. Yeah, and I've always loved sauropods since I was a little kid. Like, it's always been raptors and like sauropods for me.
It's a dinosaur. You crazy son of a bitch.
That's like exactly how I would react to it. I'd be like, it's a dinosaur. It's real. It's alive, guys. Like, I need to see, like, obviously birds are dinosaurs and they're alive, but it's like, I'd be like, okay, like, I'm taking notes. Like, I want to measure this thing. I want to fucking watch this thing. I want to film this thing. I want to study the shit out of this thing. Yeah, okay. Also, guys, on TikTok, I'm over on Twitch, so come over there because I'm reacting to Jurassic Park and Jurassic World over there. Okay, back to this.
Bet you did.
Look at this tear up the rule book on cold-bloodedness. It doesn't apply. They're totally wrong. This is a warm-bodied creature.
This thing doesn't live in a swamp.
This thing's got, what, a 25, 27-foot neck? Brachiosaurus 30. We're gonna make a fortune with this place. How fast are they?
Well, we clocked the T-Rex at 32 miles an hour.
T-Rex? Mm-hmm. You said you've got a
Now, you guys probably know from watching my videos, 32 is a little high for a T-Rex, 32 miles per hour. It's more like 25 miles per hour, but pretty close. And this was, you know, back in the day.
T-Rex?
Uh-huh.
Say again.
We have a T-Rex.
Oh.
Put your head between your knees.
Dr. Grant. My dear Dr. Sattler. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
They're moving in herds. They do move in herds. How do you do this?
Yeah, so relatable when he's like, oh, they move in herds. Oh, fuck, they do move in herds. Because he's like, you know, as a paleontologist, it's like you're putting all this stuff together from everything you could clobber together to figure out what was happening with the dinosaurs. And if you were able to see it in real life, it'd be like, oh my god, like they literally are doing this. Like I'm not just imagining this in my head. It's not like a hypothetical situation, which is what most of paleontology is. I mean, all of it pretty much. Unless you're studying a living thing, you literally don't have proof other than bones or footprints or whatever markings they leave behind.
I'll show you.
Oh. I guess that was the end. Okay. Next clip. No. Okay, the next clip I have is a T-Rex attack scene. But I'm gonna take a quick break. I will be right back in a couple minutes. I'm back, guys. I had to go pee. T-Rexy, thanks for coming. Yeah, no, let's just take a quick break. Okay, so thanks for following me, Sebastian. Knocks one out. I know you don't have Twitch, okay? I will stream on TikTok too. I mean, I am right now, but like, I'm also streaming on Twitch. Just get Twitch. It's free. Yeah, I'm streaming on Twitch every Thursday now at 8:30 Eastern. Okay, so now let me see. That's not the scene I wanted. So now we're gonna watch the T-Rex attack. Christmas Dexter, that's cool. Okay, sorry, that's the wrong link. Hold on. Here we go. Like, okay, so if you guys have seen my recent YouTube video or like a bunch of my T-Rex videos, you'll know that T-Rex didn't sound like that, right? So the sound designers for Jurassic Park like mixed a bunch of mammal sounds together, like lion roars and stuff like that. But I do love how it sounds. Like it is very believable to me, like just emotionally, that T-Rex would sound like that, even though I know it would probably sound more like a giant scary bird. Oh, also I want to show you guys, so for this occasion, I'm wearing my Jurassic Park shorts. I got these from Universal, and they actually like had a little anime Jurassic Park thing. I don't know what this says, but I went on all the rides except Velocicoaster. I'm scared. Oh, thanks for redeeming the dino bag, by the way, guys. I am still unpacking. I just moved, so I will have dino bag back soon. But basically, I just pull out a dino and give you a dino fact. But like this stream, I feel like I'm giving like a ton of dino facts, so I'll just keep giving extra dino facts where I can. What year we learned what they sounded like. I would say we kind of started in the early-ish 2000s, like 2007 is when we found the first like fossilized voice box of an extinct bird from the Cretaceous. So I'm actually gonna have a video out about this soon on YouTube, but that's when we kind of started piecing together like what dinosaurs might have sounded like. And then in the 90s, there was also like a Parasaurolophus sound reconstruction, but it was based on like just like simulating blowing air through the skull of a Parasaurolophus. It wasn't really from the voice box itself, so it's not super reliable, but that was kind of like the first way we started to figure out what dinosaurs sounded like. But that's still a huge question. Like we only really have reconstructed the voices of 3 dinosaurs, and one of those is Parasaurolophus, so that doesn't really like count as a voice. We only have 2 voice boxes from the Mesozoic that are fossilized so far, so that's another thing I'm trying to find for sure. But yeah, and I think not this week, but I think next week my YouTube video on that is coming out. What is the Tasmanian dog? Yeah, the Tasmanian devil. It's a mammal. I think it's actually still alive, but it's very endangered. Oh, the candy cane lighting in the back. It's actually Evangelion Gubby game light. Thanks for following me, you guys, and thanks for subscribing. Dead Paladin Lord Ada Ada. Stretch, thanks for reminding me to stretch. I should. Yeah, they are. I think they only are on that island. Island animals are weird. There's a lot of weird rules about island evolution. Okay, anyway, back to here. Yeah, so also you guys might know from my videos, but I do love this scene, like as a movie scene. I love the acting's incredible, and I love how the dinosaur looks. Like, it's very, very well done. But the real T-Rex, you know, it had the most powerful bite force of any animal that ever existed other than Megalodon. So like, it definitely could have crushed the car, and like this entire scene would have been over. Like if this was a real T-Rex, like it just would have like crushed the kids in the car together, and like they would all be dead, right? The other thing that's not accurate is obviously the distracting T-Rex with a flare and not moving a muscle, because T-Rex could see you whether you moved a muscle or not, or whether you threw a distraction at it. It would not care about that. Because one thing about birds, so we are, as humans, we are part of apes, right? So we're related to chimpanzees and gorillas, and we're very visual compared to most other animals in existence. But the only other animal that really rivals us in terms of visual, like evolving towards relying on vision even more, is birds. Because birds actually like rely on smells so little. They really solely rely on their vision almost. So if you think about it that way, it's like birds are so visual, they're even more visual than we are. Like they can see colors that we can't even see. They can see ultraviolet radiation, they can see ultraviolet colors. So there's actually a lot of birds that look brown. Like if you think of like a lot of songbirds that look just like brown to us, to birds, they can see ultraviolet colors and colors on other spectrums. So to them, that bird isn't brown. It's like rainbow. So we know scientifically that birds are really, really visual species, even way more than us, because we still kind of rely half on vision and half on smell, even though we're more advanced visually than like most other species on this planet. We still do rely on smell because we evolved from mammals, and we are mammals. So it stands to reason, like with what we know, that T-Rex and these dinosaurs that evolved into birds, they would have been highly visual. And so there's no reason that they would have like not seen you just because you were standing still. Like it's likely that they would have been able to pick you out really, really well. And yeah, I mean, vultures are living birds too, so they are also very visual. They don't need to rely on like smell. Vultures, their evolutionary thing is more like they just evolve so that they don't really have feathers covering their face, so they get less infections when they're scavenging on corpses. Yeah, I'm gonna show that Dilophosaurus scene you're talking about. See, it wasn't Ian Malcolm in the porta potty. This is a lawyer dude, okay? And like, also, I just paused because I have to say, like, Dr. Grant and Ian Malcolm in this movie, hot.
I'll catch you next. You're okay. Come on. Go. All right. 10. 10. Don't move. Can't see us if we don't move. But yeah, so there it's like I said, T-Rex could still see you, and it could definitely hear you. We have been able to reconstruct like dinosaur hearing, dinosaur brains to some point, and the brains also tell us more about, you know, what their capacity for vision and hearing was too. And then this T-Rex, its teeth kind of stick out. And I know there was a recent paper that said like T-Rex has lips, but we still don't really know. That's still like a big debate in paleontology. So there really hasn't been evidence for that. We don't know if theropod dinosaurs would have had lips like covering their teeth. Honestly, I don't see why they would, because I mean, if you look at living birds and their extinct relatives, like going back to the Cretaceous period, like they never had lips. Like if anything, I mean, they had a beak and they had like some very minimal like edges to the beak, but they never really had like lips that we know of. So like there isn't really much evidence for that. There's some mathematical models that you could say like suggest they may have had lips, but I mean that's why I like to work on fossils, because like I think models are good and models are important to a point, but like if you can't show me the real bone, if you can't show me like the actual evidence of like why this thing actually existed, like I think it's always a hypothesis. Can't talk. It's always a hypothesis. It's always a model until you show me the hardcore evidence. And there are some things we can never get evidence for, but we can test it across, you know, using multiple methods, using multiple lines of evidence. And so it makes it more likely that that thing was probably true, but we can never actually prove it until we have like the bones or whatever sitting right in front of us showing that that thing existed. And I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. I don't like to do all theoretical paleontology. Like I know there are scientists that do that, but I think it's important to keep a balance of like actually looking at the real fossils and other things that were left behind by the real dinosaurs, and not just like putting all of this mathematical modeling onto it, because that's ultimately like, it can be good to a point, but it's biased because it's created by us using our mathematical system, using our logic. So it's never gonna be like the closest thing to reality, right? Reality is stranger than fiction. Okay, I'm checking the chat. The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence, exactly. Okay, let's see what's left of this.
Max, it took me! Grab the wire!
Yeah, I love the T-Rex so much. Okay, so the next one I have... Oh yeah, Velociraptors in the kitchen. Such a good scene from Jurassic Park 1.
Timmy, what is it? It's a velociraptor. It's inside.
Yeah, so it would be definitely hard for them to open doors. I think it would depend on the handle. Like if it was that kind of handle where it's like sticking straight out and they could kind of like, you know, hook onto it. Actually, I have a little raptor claw. So like, let's say that, you know, the handle was a straight out handle. I think they could definitely figure out how to do that. But like if it's like a circular handle, that would be rough. You kind of need opposable thumbs, and the only animals that have that are like apes.
maybe some other primates, like maybe some monkeys. I think it's only apes though. Opposable thumbs just means you can like move your fingers like all around, like move your thumbs all around. So that's what allows us to like make tools and have better dexterity or like movement of our hands. Yeah, invest in round doorknobs if dinos come back to life. Thanks for following me, guys, by the way. Yeah, I love this scene so much. It would be terrifying. And I like how even in Jurassic Park 1, they're starting to show like dinosaur intelligence, right? And we are, like, real science is actually mirroring this. So in real life, like, we're starting to figure out that birds actually have at least the level of intelligence of primates like monkeys, and they might have ape-like intelligence, which we are apes. So apes are like basically the most intelligent animals that we know of. Now, like, it's my opinion that we don't, like, yes, apes are probably the most intelligent in the sense of, like, you know, we have tools, we have language, we create like cities and all of this, but at the same time, I mean, we can't really know the full intelligence of other animals because we can't communicate with them, we can't understand what they're saying. But birds do use tools. Birds create art. Birds create their own buildings. You can look into bowerbirds if you want to see that. They decorate their homes. So birds have cultures, they have language, and they can use tools. And like, so many birds like are at least at the level of intelligence of a chimpanzee. And like, I think that's really interesting because there's kind of this question of like, who inherits the earth, right? And I think because birds had the ability to fly, they didn't really need to create tools and all these things that we had to, because, you know, obviously we're kind of limited with our movement and our resources, and we don't have feathers or fur to protect us. So we had to create a lot of that. But like, what's interesting about birds is like, they're really intelligent, but they don't really need as much as we do. They don't need to create all of these things in order to survive. And like, I think Jurassic Park kind of, by introducing this intelligence into dinosaurs, like, first of all, it's aligned with real life science, right? But secondly, it also kind of highlights this question of like, what if dinosaurs had continued as they were and they had this high level of intelligence? You know, what would the world be like? Like, we probably wouldn't be here today. We would probably still be small, like possum-like mammals running around hiding from these guys, you know? So I really like how they showed that here. And this was really groundbreaking at the time because, you know, dinosaurs used to be seen as like these really like slow moving, like cold-blooded creatures that couldn't really do much. They were, you know, dumb. But the science at the time was showing that dinosaurs were actually like warm-blooded, they moved quickly, they were intelligent, so kind of the opposite of everything that people thought. And that's what's really unique about dinosaurs and birds, is that they're not these slow kind of reptilian things. And so Jurassic Park did a really great job at like portraying that to the public, I think. Okay, back to their terror.
Follow me.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. The problem with fossils is, you know, we don't know their intricate levels of behavior at that level. We don't know if they would have clicked their claw, but I mean, I'm sure, like, it's like us tapping our fingers, right? It's like, I'm sure it could happen. I love that part so much. But yeah, the velociraptors, you guys are right. They definitely would have had feathers and they would have been smaller. The Jurassic Park velociraptors are based off of Deinonychus, which was a bigger raptor type dinosaur, and so it would have had that big claw, but it would have still been covered in feathers, you know. But that wasn't really something that we knew about in science until later. So, you know, I give that to Jurassic Park, like, early on. I kind of wish they incorporated more in Jurassic World, but maybe they will in Rebirth, we'll see. And then, yeah, Utah Raptor is, like, what these guys really are the closest to in terms of, like, depiction. But it's funny because actually, like, Utah Raptor wasn't discovered till after they started making this movie. But yeah, Utah Raptor is really what these guys are closest to. Yeah, so, the part where she's in the oven always stressed me out so much. But yeah, Compsognathus, so compies were real dinosaurs. We do have fossils of them. Thanks for coming over from TikTok, guys. I appreciate it. So yeah, the past couple clips in this clip have been from movie clips on YouTube. Now the next one is going to be the Dilophosaurus clip. You guys on TikTok, I'm over on Twitch reacting to Jurassic Park if you want to come over. Happy Thanksgiving. I have a lot of clips. I might have to actually like split this up into 2 streams. I thought I would get through this quicker, but I actually had a lot to say. You're sad the Raptors wouldn't have hugged. Oh, you mean the Dilophosaurus? Yeah. Me too. I'm sad Dilophosaurus didn't hug toi. Hug toi, whatever, in real life.
There, and I put down this thing here and my glasses. I can afford more glasses.
got time. You can do it. Do it. Come on, Dennis.
Didn't say the magic word. That was one of my favorite parts, for real. Yeah, he pissed me off too. I was like, you're really stealing the embryos, bitch.
Whoa. Yeah, that's nice. Gotta go. Just fine. Oh, nice boy. Oh, nice boy. Nice, dinosaur. Oh, thought you were one of your big brothers. You're not so bad. You're not so bad. What are you?
Nice boy.
Food? Look at me. I just fell down a hill. I'm soaking wet. I don't have any food. I have no food on me. I have nothing on me. Come on. Come on. Pipettes? Pipettes? Pipettes?
Yeah, this is what happens when you try to domesticate a wild animal. I'm just letting you guys know. Spoiler alert.
Look, stick. See a stick? See a stick? Yeah. Yeah, look, stick. Look, stick. Stick, stupid. That's a stick, boy. Look at this stick. Yes. You like your stick? You want to get it? And no wonder you're extinct. I'm gonna run you over when I come back down.
It's like I'm gonna run you over when I come back down, like, bro, what the fuck? You just gotta hook twine, spit on that thing. He's just like, Yeah, I love how he's like, oh, I'm safe, and then it's just like, in the car. I'm here, motherfucker! But yeah, like a lot of you guys pointed out already, Dilophosaurus would not huck twab poison, unfortunately. Not saying it wasn't possible, we just like don't have any evidence for that, and I don't know what the proxy would be, you know, I don't know how we would measure that, because fossils are like, yes, we have a skeleton, quote unquote, but it's like minerals replacing bone, and so that's the only reason we can see the skeleton. We don't have the actual bone with the biological molecules in it. We have the shell that was of the biological shit that was replaced by, you know, the fossilization process, by rock or amber or opal or whatever the geological thing replacing it was. So unless there's some molecule, you know, if some microbiologist wants to ever like come in here and tell me, unless there's some molecule that could be preserved in the fossilization process that would, you know,
like some molecule of venom. We can't have any evidence of that. But Dilophosaurus would have a crest on its head. That was in the, we did find that in the skull of Dilophosaurus. We did not find the frill, however. Like, the frill was added in the Jurassic Park movie based on living lizards. There are several species of lizards that have like a frill that they kind of like blow out when they want to, you know, scare away predators or attract a mate, whatever. So that was kind of added based on that. Real Dilophosaurus did not have that, but the real Dilophosaurus was much, much bigger. So it actually would have been scarier in a way. Yeah, there's a lizard that does it. Oh, sorry. I forgot to turn off the desktop audio. Okay, now the echo should be better. Yeah, I don't know why he turned around either. He wasn't great at surviving Jurassic Park. Okay, now the next one. This is the last OG Jurassic Park I have, and then we're moving on to Jurassic Park 3. Okay, so like right off the bat, I have a comment. Again, this is from movie clips on YouTube. So like, oh, and thank you for the gifts on TikTok. Come over to Twitch because I'm reacting to Jurassic Park and Jurassic World stuff over here. So yeah, right off the bat, like this scene I love because they're showing these letters A, G, T, and C, and those are basically the molecules that make up DNA. So it's kind of like this artsy metaphorical way of saying, you know, these dinosaurs are made up of DNA, these living things are made up of DNA just like we are, and they're made up of these like kind of modified genetic codes that were created by these mad scientists, right? Who like don't care about the repercussions of what they're doing. So thanks for subscribing, Schultz Fox. So yeah, I really love how they did that, like across a velociraptor of like, you know, that's what we're all made of, is just DNA, which is just base pairs of A, G, T's, and C's, these little molecules. And that's what creates life. It's kind of crazy. Okay, we can continue now. Like, that scene is so peak.
Can't move!
Like, I love how they're just like escaping from this fucking dinosaur by hanging on to the dinosaur exhibit, the skeleton exhibit, for dear life. And they just don't even care. Like, if they're destroying this fossil, they're like, we gotta survive. It's like, again, it's kind of like the DNA running over the velociraptor. It's like such a metaphor of like, at the end of the day, like, yes, we love dinosaurs and we want to discover things, but like at the end of the day, like, what do we want to do, right? As living beings, like humans, let alone as living beings, we want to survive, right? And we do what we gotta do to survive, whether it's objectively good or bad, right? That's why we're all here. It's the idea of survival. It's really like, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance there. Like, you know, it's like you have to go through a lot of bad things and trauma, and sometimes you do bad things and you hurt other people and you're just surviving, and, you know, hopefully you do what you can to like help others, but at the end of the day, you're like, you know, when it comes down to a life or death situation, it's like, you know, you try to save who you can and help who you can, and you just try to survive, because at the end of the day, like, that's what we as animals all have in common, right? And that's a really powerful idea. It's just like life or death at the end of the day. It's in this way, I think the first Jurassic Park movie, it does remind me a lot of like the themes of Alien as well, which I really like. Both Alien and Jurassic Park are like maybe my favorite movies of all time. How long can I hold my breath for? I don't know. Like, probably a while. Random fun fact. Okay, back to this. Also, Ellie looks really hot here.
Let go. Yeah.
The Bi-Awakenings, that made me laugh so hard. Ellie and Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park, unlocking people's Bi-Awakenings for sure. Dr. Grant is hot too though. That Velociraptor scene, I was like, you could be my daddy. I think I like the movies better just because like I do read a lot, but I'm more of a visual person, and I like how they laid it out in the movie, but of course I love the books because it's like, that's what inspired the movie, and the science is more accurate in the books, but I don't know, I really love the movie because that's what I saw first as a kid, and that's what really got me into dinosaurs in a way that I don't think the book possibly could. The other thing about the book is like, I like how in the movie they kind of portray Hammond as like he's kind of this idealist and this guy, you know, the flea circus scene in Jurassic Park, which maybe I'll react to it next time, but you know, he's this guy who like, he thinks, you know, I can create this wonder and this amazing thing for humans to see, and like that's kind of his motivation for Jurassic Park, right? Because he's already wealthy. He just like thinks this is a really cool idea, but he doesn't really understand the implications of it. And I think that is a more realistic and kind of nuanced point of view of a lot of people who fund science, because they can't possibly know all the ins and outs of it, right? And they can't possibly know all of the implications of it.
only the scientists can know that. And even then, like, a lot of us are like, we don't fully know the implications of what we're doing until it's done a lot of times. Whereas in the book, Hammond is portrayed as kind of like this evil person who deserves to be punished, right? And I'm not going to give spoilers about it in case you guys haven't read the book, but I think, like, you know, I'm sure there are people who fund science who have, you know, morally corrupt motives, but that, I don't think that's the majority of people. Like, I think the majority of people in general, you know, they have a reason for why they think what they think, and they think they're doing what's best, right? And that's what Hammond thinks in the movie. And so I do love the portrayal of him in the movie. I think the book is an interesting take, but I think it's kind of like, I don't know, I just like how he's portrayed in the movie. I just think it's a more nuanced and, like, realistic perspective on that. Which is my favorite movie? I think the first one for sure. Although I do love Jurassic Park 3 too. So I love the Spinosaurus. But the sad thing about Jurassic Park 3 is, like, Malcolm's not in it, and then Ellie's, like, not really in it. I really don't like the decision they made to, like, have her just kind of get married and have babies and, like, not be a scientist anymore. That's kind of fucked up. Size of a T-Rex tooth, like, depends which one, but, like, about that. Okay.
After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park. So have I.
Yeah, like, that scene would have been pretty, like, accurate for Velociraptor. Like, they definitely were smaller, and Deinonychus and similar raptor type dinosaurs, like, they definitely would have hunted in packs, and they would have, like, had to have multiple individuals trying to take down larger dinosaurs like that. So that part is accurate. I also love how T-Rex just kind of, like, throws him into the dinosaur skeleton. He's like, fuck this, like, fuck you. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, science is amazing and learning about these dinosaurs is amazing, but, like, you know, nothing can come close to, like, understanding the reality of, like, what these things were and how they lived and, like, what they thought. And I do love that, because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, we're fucking apes on a rotating rock that's, like, going around the sun, and, like, 66 million years plus after the fact speculating on these animals. Like, we don't know, like, we're doing the best we can, but, like, yeah, I really like that. At the end of the day, you know, it's like we do our best to understand extinct animals and what was going on, but we could only do so much, right? And even in modern science, like, even if you're studying living things, it's like, yeah, we do everything that we can to understand genetics or understand living animals and behavior and this and that, but, like, like any scientist worth their salt should sit down and admit, like, we just can't know everything, and like the amount of things that we can't know is vast and insanely vast. I mean, there's more things we can't ever know than things we can know, and even the things that we can know are built on, you know, mostly on models and theoretical things, and so there's just like so much we can't know, and like, so there kind of comes this thing where it's like, yes, we're always pushing discovery, we're pushing the edge of science and trying to get the most knowledge we can out, to help humanity and to best understand what's going on, you know, if you have the right perspective. But we need to be willing as scientists, in my opinion, to put our egos aside and be like, at the end of the day, we can't fully know what is true. Like, it's just not possible. Like, the world is too complicated, and we can't know everything. Like, that's just the truth. And anyone who pretends to know everything is full of shit. Anyway, do you guys want to see a few more clips, or should I do another like stream like this? Because I have quite a few more clips from Jurassic Park 3 and the new movies. Well, yeah, dinosaurs aren't alive-ish, but they are alive as birds, so they technically are alive, but I know what you mean. Like, yeah, I'm glad T-Rex isn't around. Like, don't kill me. More clips. Okay, we have one for more clips. One for different stream. 2 for more clips? Question mark? Three for more clips. Okay. 4 for more clips. Okay. Maybe, okay, I think I'll do the Jurassic Park 3 clips, and then maybe I'll make the Jurassic World like its own thing, because I have a lot to say about Jurassic World. Like, I wrote out some shit, so let's go. Okay, so the first one I have from Jurassic Park 3 is this one.
That lady you called. Who is she? How do you know that she can help us?
She was one person I could always count on. I owe her a lot. Well, I don't think I ever told her that.
You should.
You hear that?
The ocean.
The eggs. Otherwise, we'd be dead already.
Yeah, so I picked this scene to show you guys because I really like this scene because, again, like, it's showing how intelligent dinosaurs were, right? And that's really aligned with, like, modern day science of how we're figuring out how intelligent birds are. Like, we've even been able to figure out that grackles, like, not only do birds like grackles and crows and other birds use tools, but grackles specifically can recognize faces, and they can even recognize your face. Like, if you wear a mask, they can recognize the back of your head. So it is likely that theropod dinosaurs were intelligent. Like, exactly how intelligent we can't know yet, but we can know that they were pretty intelligent. And I really like this depiction of the velociraptors because it's really like highlighting that level of intelligence that we know to be true for birds, right? I mean, if birds were bigger and they were able to actually intimidate us and be able to attack us, you know, I'm sure they would engage in behavior like this. The only reason that they don't is because they have a much smaller body size than us most of the time. But I mean, if you've ever been around like an ostrich or an emu, those are aggressive creatures. Like, they are not playing. They're gonna bite you. And I mean, and they don't even have teeth, and they can hurt you. And like, even like a goose, I don't know if you guys like have experience with like a Canada goose, like this really common. Like, I've been around geese a lot, and I mean, geese can really fuck you up. Like, they can really hurt you. They're big animals, and like, they have a lot of muscle strength. They can hurt you with their neck, just like whipping their neck or their wings against you. And when you think about something this big, I mean, they definitely have a lot of power over you. And with teeth and claws, like, yeah. Yeah, cassowaries, that's another good example. Yeah, swans. Swans are notoriously mean, swans and geese. So, I mean, I really like this depiction where it's like, you know, I'm sure birds, like even little songbirds, if they had this power over us, like, believe me, they would use it. I mean, any animal would. I mean, let's look at bears or whatever. It's like, if an animal can use power over you to survive, if it has to, like, it will, you know?
Everybody get down. He's challenging us. She thinks you stole the eggs.
Get behind me.
Yeah, so I didn't know that swans have killed someone, but I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Like, every time I've ever walked by a goose, they just run up to me and start yelling and trying to bite my legs, and it's really painful. But yeah, I mean, they're really aggressive. Like, swans, also cranes, like sandhill cranes that are like in Florida and stuff. I mean, they kill baby ducks all the time and eat them. Like, birds are violent. Like, I think people don't really understand that, because I think most people, when they think about birds, they think about like, oh, a little cardinal, a little chickadee. It's like, yeah, well, that's not every bird. And like, if those birds had the power and size to be able to kill things, like, you best believe they would. But, you know, they evolved to have small body size and, you know, feed off of seeds and fruit, whatever. But those are dinosaurs.
No. Call for help. It's a helicopter.
Dr. Grant? Dr. Alec Grant? That's a very bad idea!
You have to thank her now. She sent the Navy and the Marines.
God bless you, Ellie.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much the end of that, but I love when they're like, that's a very bad idea. I always like think of that, that line. And then Ellie, Mommy Masato sending in those helicopters for Dr. Grant. She should have married Dr. Grant. Duh. But really, she should have just like not stopped doing science, right? Thanks for following me. And yeah, Billy got so lucky. I really like how they kind of show this juxtaposition of like how different scientists can kind of have different stances on what's morally right and what their objectives are. Like Dr. Grant and Ellie were always more, and even Malcolm to some extent they were more like, oh, we want to discover things and learn things, but not at the expense of us, right? And not at the expense of other people. We don't want knowledge just for the sake of knowledge. But there are scientists like Billy who are like, you know, they can get a little too carried away and they can be like, hey, like, I need to know this no matter what, or I need to try this thing no matter what the cost is to humanity or other people. And that's kind of what Billy did, right? By stealing the Velociraptor eggs. He was like, I don't care if this causes other people to die, like, we need this for science. And like, I understand that from like an initial kind of gut reaction thing of like, oh, but we need to know, and like knowledge for everyone's more important. But when you take a step back and think about that, you know, it's really not worth putting other people at risk or like harming other people or hurting other people over the sake of attaining knowledge. Because I mean, you're hurting a real person just to like get this knowledge, you know, and there's no knowledge that's going to, there's no single piece of knowledge that's going to be worth trading humanity for, right? Or trading a person's life for, like, in general. Like, I mean, that's usually something that you only kind of see in the movies, and especially when we're talking about dinosaurs. I mean, there's nothing about like learning about the embryo of a Velociraptor that's going to save humanity. And so like the fact that he put Dr. Grant's life and these other people's lives at risk, it really shows you, like, you know, it's not to judge him and say, oh, he's a bad person, whatever, but it's like, you know, you didn't, at the least, he didn't consider like what are the repercussions of his science. So it's again like kind of reiterating that theme, which is something that is important, that we have to think about as scientists all the time, and like we do have that responsibility. For him, insomnia. I'm glad you're hanging there. Never back down, never what? Thanks for coming, guys. Okay, I think I only have one more from Jurassic Park 3. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna play one more clip and then I'll do the Jurassic World ones in the next stream. So yeah, I'm surprised. I thought I would get through all of these. There's so much to tell about dinosaurs. This is from the Jurassic World channel.
I think we lost him.
It's okay, it's dead. Nobody move a muscle.
I love how they just all ignore him, like... I mean, that is honestly really realistic, though. Like, I feel like the number of times I've said something, and, like, even other scientists in my field, like, who know that I said the right thing to do, they'll just, like, do the wrong thing anyway. And I'm like, you motherfuckers. Like, fucking listen. But very realistic portrayal. Oh yeah, so the reason he would T-Rex would ditch the meal, so he knows that, you know, he can go scavenge that corpse whenever he wants, right? He knows where it is. But these humans seem like a really easy, fresh meal that he could get. And when you're a carnivore, like, it's really hard to get fresh meals and to hunt, especially like, because think about other dinosaurs, like Ankylosaurus, Stegosaurus, Triceratops, like these things that T-Rex would have hunted, like these things are heavily armored, and like we have found many, many injuries on T-Rex skeletons from those dinosaurs. So it was not easy, and like you as a T-Rex would be risking your life to hunt these other dinosaurs. Whereas you see something that's like human size, you're like, wow, that's a perfect snack. Like I could go get that and then come back and scavenge my meal. So I do think it's realistic that T-Rex would have gone after them. Yeah, so when I first saw this, like I think I was like around 12-ish. If like it's like I feel like it's kind of like, are you team Edward or team Jacob? Like, are you team T-Rex or team Spinosaurus? Like, I've always been team Spinosaurus. Like, I love Spinosaurus. Like, I fell in love with Spinosaurus in this movie. I love the long snout. Like, it was the biggest predator, like bigger than T-Rex for sure. The depiction in Jurassic Park 3 is actually pretty accurate to what we know at this point in time in paleontology. But the problem is it probably wouldn't have won against T-Rex, even though it was larger, because the bite force of T-Rex was so much stronger. I mean, because if you think about like Spinosaurus it was pescatarian, meaning it mostly ate fish. So it didn't need a very intense bite force to be able to bite through its prey like T-Rex did. Like T-Rex needed to be able to like crush bone
and it could crush cars with its bite. So that part's a little unrealistic. Like, it's not that Spinosaurus could have never won. It's just that this scenario exactly probably wouldn't have happened. Like, for Spinosaurus to win, it would probably need to be attacking a smaller, maybe more juvenile, aka younger T-Rex, maybe ambushing them from the river or a bush or like somewhere where, you know, T-Rex wasn't expecting it. It wasn't probably this kind of like King Kong versus Godzilla like format. But I still really love this scene, and I love Spinosaurus, and I love this depiction. The other inaccurate thing, so like it was pretty accurate except for the bite force thing, and then the other thing that's a little inaccurate is the swimming, even though we're not totally sure about it, but it probably wasn't like an amazing swimmer that could like hide under the water and then pop up and like ambush people in that way. Like, it probably would have only been able to like swim in shallow water, so you always would have known where the Spinosaurus was, you know? But like I said, I still love it. It's like the Velociraptors too in Jurassic Park. Like, I love watching it, even if it's not the most accurate thing. And like, at the end of the day, like, I can't thank Jurassic World or Jurassic Park enough for making dinosaurs important to people around the world. And it's what got me into paleontology, and it's what got like a lot of people into paleontology, you know? Oh yeah, and then, so someone said, I'm surprised T-Rex is not worried about scavengers or another T-Rex taking the kill. So T-Rex was more of like a loner, as far as we know. Like, occasionally there might have been a couple T-Rexes in one area, but like in general, T-Rex would have been like more of a like solo hunter, and or like what we call a solitary animal. You know, like it doesn't like to be in packs. It doesn't need to be in packs. And so it probably would have had territories, kind of like modern day big cats do, or other large predators, you know? And so other large predators would know kind of not to mess with the T-Rex territory, and like Velociraptors would have known that too. So if they were planning to scavenge, like, they were definitely at a disadvantage. And so they wouldn't have done that unless like they were really desperate or they felt like they had an advantage, likely. And that's kind of what they're playing off in this scene, is like, you know, Spinosaurus versus T-Rex, like, who's gonna win the territory? Like, who's gonna be the biggest, baddest dinosaur of this jungle on Isla Nublar, or whatever this island was called. I think that's what it was called. I don't know. Muscle definition. I mean, muscle definition is based on like modeling based on bones. I mean, the muscle definition is fine. It's not, I'm not aware of like anything inaccurate in the muscle definition. Oh yeah, Isla Sorna is the second one. Okay, then Isla Nublar is the first, maybe. Anyway. But yeah. Okay, so that's all the OG Jurassic Park clips I have, and then the Rebirth clips I have. So next time, I'm going to split this up into 2 streams, and then next time I'm going to talk about Jurassic World in depth, because I have a lot to say on that, and I've already spent like, I don't know, a while, like 3 hours on this, so more than I thought. But thank you guys for coming. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun. And I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving and get to relax some this weekend. So yeah, I'll stream this, these reactions next week at the usual time at 8:30 Eastern time.
4 a.m. I hope you get some sleep. Good night, guys.